Saturday night's main event had action, chaos, a return, a whole lot of commercials. This wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't a great one either. Let's break it down match by match, moment by moment, and see where the WWE delivered and where they fell flat. The first segment we had CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Rollins and Breaker. The match itself had great energy, all four worked their asses off. But the real shocker, which overshadowed the match in my opinion, Bronson Reed returned. And not just returns, he sides with Rollins and Breaker, which is wild considering that last year tsunamis led to Seth's injury and kept him out for a couple months. So now that they're teammates, you kind of wonder where that's going to go, and are we on the verge of getting a name for this faction? Segment 2, we had Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green. We hit a wall on this one in a match that just didn't need to happen. She botched a 619. There's no crowd reactions, no pop, a match that felt like a filler. Zelina retains, but nobody's going to remember this one by Monday. Then we get Cena versus R-Truth. This was weird. R-Truth enters as Ron Cena in full Cena cosplay. The crowd eats it up. Cena, not so much. He attacks Truth before the bell, rips the shirt off, and we get a match that's basically Cena fighting a version of himself. Truth hits a 5-knuckle shuffle and even an attitude adjustment for a near fall. And for a moment, it looked like the unthinkable might actually happen. There was a moment Cena, it looks like he's going to hit R-Truth with a belt. Ended up being a fake moment of sportsmanship. He hands the title to the ref. And you're wondering, is he turning face? Is this the beginning? And as the ref's back is turned, he hits the low blow and an AA. Then gets the 3 count. And then post-match hits Truth with the belt. Crowd boos pretty hard. Cena walks off and you hear the faint "Thank you, Cena" chants. My take, it was a fun segment, but it didn't really advance the story as much as I would have hoped and would have thought was going to happen. And I'm really starting to wonder, is Cena actually going to retire as a heel? Then you have the backstage segment, Uso and Cena, and Cena comes out, they cross paths. Well, the last time I seen you, Uso, I was throwing you out to win the Royal Rumble. Cena mocks him, and imagine my clock ticks and I walk out as champion holding this title, and you lose to a YouTuber, and a YouTuber's holding that title. This, I clearly thought was meant to give Logan Paul's upcoming match a shred of credibility, but let's be honest, nobody bought it. There's just no way anybody was going to believe that Logan was going to beat Jay. They wanted to put a little doubt in our minds. Didn't work for me at all. Then we get into the Damian Priest-Drew McIntyre match. There was no pop for either guy during their entrances. I think the crowd was still catching their breath after Cena and Truth, although that was a short segment. With Cena, it's always going to be emotional. It gets tiresome. But once they got going, it built up. Priest hits a South of Heaven. Drew hit a superplex while Priest was on the top of the cage, followed by a Claymore to a near fall. Then we get the "This is awesome" chants. Drew steals the South of Heaven and hits Damian with his own move for another near fall. We even get a chair beat down, but when Drew goes for a Claymore with the chair, he misses. Priest capitalized with a concerto and then walks out for the win, which was a bit surprising to me. I thought he would beat him up more and maybe was hoping for blood in this one, but a pretty good match. My take, predictable. It really felt like they were gonna have Priest win and make it 1-1 if you don't count the cash-in, which I'm not counting, or the fatal 4-way match. So it's 1-1 straight up, and it's heading into Money in the Bank, maybe even SummerSlam. I'm over it, and I'm thinking a lot of fans are over it as well. Priest doesn't feel like a real main event #1 guy to me, and McIntyre should definitely be in the world title scene by now. I'll give it one more match, Hell in a Cell, maybe an I Quit match, but then let it die. Please, let's move on. Let's do something bigger with Drew, and let's let Damian Priest stay on the upper mid card. Maybe a US title, IC title picture. Then we get into the main event, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. Jey enters and yeets and yeets and yeets and yeets through a 5-minute commercial break. Legendary stuff. Not really, I'm not a Jey fan. Logan enters to nuclear heat as usual. The match kicks off pretty fast. Logan goes for a lion salt. Jey counters with the pop-up Samoan slam to a near fall. Jey hits one of his 4 moves, the super kick, to a near fall. Logan fires back with his lucky punch. Another near Paul. Then we get the "fuck you Logan" chants per usual. Jay lands a second super kick, goes for the pin, and John Cena breaks it up. So that was shocking. That was very unpredictable. But then, as Cena is beating up on Jay, here comes Cody Rhodes, and I'm not a Cody fan, so it's good for WWE. My personal taste, I hated it. But the crowd went wild. The place exploded. Cody clears house, evens the odds, helps Jay retain the title. I think he hit a spear, and then he goes up top and hits they call it a frog splash, but it's not a frog splash, it's a splash. So he retains, and post-match, Cody grabs a mic and announces a tag team match for Money in the Bank. It'll be Cody and Jay versus Cena and Logan. So the disappointing about it is we're not getting Cena and Punk at Money in the Bank. So I'm convinced now that Cody will definitely be the one that takes the title off Cena. It's just a matter of time. I already had that sense. It was pretty obvious to begin with. Now it's 100% that is what's going to happen. Overall, a solid show. Cody's return was pretty hype. The tag match was strong. The third member being added to the faction, I'm hoping we get a name. Cena Truth was bizarre but memorable. Didn't really move the storyline as much. Priest and McIntyre, again, was a drag. Great match, but the feud itself it's stale. Zelina and Chelsea just didn't need to be there at all. Maybe that even took away some of the time that Cena and Truth had, in my opinion. My biggest overall gripe was the commercials. Way too many commercials. A minute into the match, commercial. Mid-match, commercial. In between entrances, commercials. You name it. It was on NBC, so I expected some, but not that many. I'm going to give the show a solid 6 out of 10. Would have been about a 7 if they had cut a few ads. I'm going to say WWE's got a little bit of momentum with this, but they better not waste it. What were your thoughts? What were your favorite moments and your least favorite moments? Please comment, like, and if you would, give me a sub.